All right, welcome to your Money in the Bank 2014 review. Just got done watching the show. I've got Grits here with me. And usually what we do is we go through the show from beginning to end and talk about what transpired. But I'm going to break format this time because I'm going to talk about what I just saw. You know, you can sit there and say predictable. People who gave up on the product think it's funny. I don't find it funny because we got to sit here and watch it, hoping that eventually they'll stop doing the same old shit. It's the same thing every time. It's been a rerun for the past 9 years, and this Money in the Bank ladder championship match, whatever you want to call it, starts, and John Cena comes out, and the fucking crowd starts booing him. So what does he do? They're booing me. Ha, I'm about to win, motherfuckers. I can't stand that. I can't stand how passive-aggressive he is. You know, the guy comes out there, within 3 to 4 minutes of the match starting, he fucks up taking a bump. Botches. Another move. Again. And the thing that really drives me nuts is the excuses that are sent my way. Immediately after the match on Twitter, oh, come on, Bruce, you should be excited because guess what this means? This means that Brock Lesnar gets to beat Cena at SummerSlam. Oh, really? Do you really think that John Cena is putting Brock Lesnar over clean? Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that in any way, shape, or form this means some form of evolution of the product? Do you really think that this means growth? Well, but come on, he sells merchandise. The only reason this clown sells merchandise, I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it again, is because he's a kayfabe hero. That's it. It's not some innate ability to draw people in. The WWE has continually told people that this is the hero. And, I mean, you had Roman Reigns doing his thing, you had Sheamus doing his thing, you had Cesaro doing his thing in this match, Randy Orton gets his head busted open on an accident with the ladder. You got all these guys out there shining in the ring, and this bum gets to sit outside the ring the whole match. Every single time he did a move, the crowd buried him. And then every time someone gave him a move, they cheered. I mean, this entertainment company fucking sucks. Let's be honest. An entertainment company that can't come up with any new ideas at all. It's all the same regurgitated shit. And it all involves this guy. And then at the end of the pay-per-view, first of all, before I get to that, the finish to the match was weak and cheap. And the match itself fell flat. Let's be honest here. The match fell flat for the most part, except for a couple signature moves from the other guys. Compared to the earlier Money in the Bank match, this match sucked. So then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you've got Kane doing a similar spot that they did on SmackDown. Oh, and he's going to hold the ladder and let Orton go up and get the belt. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this no-talent bum, fuckboy buckethead, the shit factor of professional fucking wrestling, comes in the ring and gives a standing fireman's carry. That's it. That's all it is. It's a weak fucking move. To the devil's favorite demon, Kane. And that takes him out. And then he gives one to Randy Orton, the guy who took all these moves during the match, but all of a sudden, you watching this video, as a viewer, you are supposed to sit there and believe that a standing fireman's carry does it. And then this bum climbs up the ladder with, no drama, nothing. He just quickly climbs up. He's like, yeah, bitches, look at me. Ha ha, I did it again. Won another kayfabe championship, 15 in 9 years. And then Michael Cole pulls out his garbage bag full of dicks and starts dumping them all over his face, because that's what he likes. Michael Cole likes dicks in his face. But he starts dumping them all over his face, and then you know what he says? You know what he has the audacity to say, the unmitigated gall, kayfabe world or not? John Cena's the greatest champion of all time. Stick it up your ass. Greatest champion, my ass. Oh, but come on, Bruce. This will be his last championship run. Heard that about 10 times now. Don't buy that bullshit. All that matters is, once again tonight, they're shoving Cena back down our throats, but he sells merch. No, the kayfabe hero sells merch. And I wonder, after 14 fucking championships, how many John Cena fans are really sitting there at home going, oh, I can't believe he won. He won. Yay. Even they've got to be bored with it. This company is dumb with a capital D. WWE's stale. I wonder why. I wonder why. Reason numero fucking uno is this guy. And you may say, why don't you like him? He does Make-A-Wish. He does stuff for the troops. Well, I'm done talking about that. I didn't like him since day one. And if you haven't noticed, by the reaction from the audience, some crowds are 75-25, some are 60-40, some are 50-50, some are 40-60. At best, listen to me, at best, only half of the viewing audience wants to see this guy. Only half. And this is a company that has continually, for the last 9 years, catered to only half of its audience, while the rest of us, they constantly give us the middle finger. And guess what? He does too. But he's such a good guy. Cena wins, we complain online. No, we don't just complain online. We complain in the barbershops, at the gym, with our friends, in our living rooms, at the arenas. Don't you listen to the crowds, asshole? Constantly giving us a middle finger. Oh, you're just an internet fan. Yeah. You don't matter. Fuck you. Since day one, the first time I saw this bum wrestle, I said, this guy's garbage. Trash. Trash, trash, trash. Heard him cutting promos. I said, these aren't battle raps. They're not battle raps. Go listen to LL Cool J, motherfucker. With Run DMC. That freestyle they got on YouTube, that's freestyle. You want to hear rap? Go listen to some Tupac, or some Crazy Bone, or some Nas. He was never a rapper. And then all of a sudden, he becomes the good. He drops the accent, right? He drops the accent. He goes from being a G to Mr. Clean. Never bought it once. So since day one, you could sit there and try to paint me out as being just a single bad guy, and I'm the only one that feels this way because I get vocal with it in front of a webcam. But the fact of the matter is there's millions that feel the same way. And there's millions, check the ratings year by year, millions said, fuck this shit. And what do? Do they go forward with a Cesaro? Do they go forward with a Bray Wyatt? Well, you knew that wasn't happening. Do they go forward with even a Reigns? No. Let's go back to the same old shit. Yeah, that'll be very entertaining. Just extremely entertaining. And then people go, why do you guys get so frustrated over John Cena? Because it's been the same thing for 9 years. People like myself and Grit started liking the WWF in the 80s. Early 80s. When they went national. The rock and wrestling era. Guys like Shoddy, he's a big fan of The Rock. The Attitude Era in the WWF, WCW, and ECW brought a guy like Shoddy to the forefront. And instead of getting a pat on our back for still sticking around and hoping the product gets better, we get a middle finger. Because we voice our opinions that we think this guy is trash. I think it takes a lot more effort to continue to watch something that you think is trash than it does to watch something that you like and that you'll apologize for and make excuses for. 15 times? That's something to be glorified? No. You know what that is? The 15, the number 15, is an indication of how long it's been the same old shit. It's not some feat of epic proportions. This isn't team sports. This isn't boxing. This isn't the UFC. This is a kayfabe world where they write the storylines. And this guy's been shoved down your throat as champion 15 times now. And tell me how that pay-per-view ended with any form of believability. Any form. 2 standing fireman's carries ends that match? You got that idiot sitting there holding the belts up like he did something. You're garbage, Cena, trash. And no matter how many different segments they do to try to make him this great guy, no matter how many times they make him the kayfabe hero, you have a large group of us saying, fuck this shit, I can't wait till it's over. And those are the facts. I'm not sitting here, romanticizing the way we feel about wrestling. I'm not sitting here and trying to make a spectacle out of it. I'm not sitting here and making things up. This is the way that a lot of wrestling fans feel. Get over it. Well, you'll still tune into Raw. Oh, okay. So what? The day that bum walks away will be a great day. It'll be addition by subtraction for a lot of us. So WWE, you officially suck for putting him back as champion. I don't get it. If you've been a Cena fan since day one, how the fuck could you even get excited over this? If you do, great. You're finding enjoyment in the product that we desperately wish we could at the top of the card. But how could you sit there and go, oh my gosh, I didn't see that coming. John won for the 15th time. Who in their right mind did that tonight? Nobody. Things that nobody says. Didn't see Cena winning coming. That's something that nobody says. Gosh, that guy is trash, man. And then on top of it, tomorrow night on Raw, we get to endure another John Cena kiss-ass promo. Where he's going to kiss ass, spend 90% of the promo talking about the fans, trying to turn the fans around. This dude, I call him the shit factor of professional wrestling because in a pay-per-view like this, which, by the way, wasn't stellar anyways, In a pay-per-view like this dude takes a shovel and buries it for a lot of us. Just seeing the look on his face at the end of the pay-per-view. I can't even imagine. I mean, you look at a lot of these up-and-coming wrestlers. They come to the main roster. They don't get themselves over. They get a pink slip. Throughout all the years of wrestling, a face of a company is no longer getting universal love from the crowd. What do? They turn them heel. A heel is not getting heat anymore. He's getting cheered. What do? They turn him face. John Cena gets heat as this super duper hero, right? And what do? Well, it's a good thing that people hate him. So on top of all this, you have to have your intelligence insulted to every man, woman, and child who actually sees what's going on. And that's where the phrase, shoving John Cena down your throat, came from. And the amazing thing about it is Triple H uses a phrase called adapt or perish, right? Since when has the WWE ever adapted? Not since the Ruthless Aggression time frame, that era, have they adapted. Cena. And then tomorrow, this walking billboard is going to come out with a new t-shirt. Oh boy. How cool is that? I mean, the WWE knows how to keep things fresh. John Cena won again. Shocker. So in closing, before we get to the rest of the pay-per-view, yes, he is fuckboy Buckethead to me. Yes, he's going to sniff a lot of dicks during that promo on Raw. Yes, I think he's the shit factor of professional wrestling based on my subjective, biased opinion, based on my likes and dislikes. Think the guy can't cut good promos. I think he's a terrible actor, horrible, laughable, that he could even be accused of being an actor. Think he's an even worse wrestler. And this guy is the greatest champion of all time. That's a disservice. Michael Cole can take that garbage bag full of dicks and shove them up his ass, but he'd probably like that. It's a disservice to wrestling history to hear that this bum is the greatest champion of all time, my ass. And yes, John Cena ruins everything for a lot of us, and he is the shit factor of professional wrestling. Period. I'm going to take a breath. I'm going to turn it over to Shoddy and Grits. I'll be right back, but before I go, join BlitzSportsNetwork.com this week. I'm going to put a premium on talking about good wrestling from back in the day on my website, and I'm talking about a lot of videos. Oh, there's going to be a lot on the site this week, so if you haven't joined, this is the week, man, to get off the fence. So BlitzSportsNetwork.com, we've got Shoddy here, we've got Grits, and let's see what they have to say. I'll be back. Fuck Cena. Period.
I'll shoot first. Great, you finish this off. This all goes back. This all goes back to the reason I've been sick of this company. I started doing work with Blitz on this podcast in 2010, 2011. Started doing this thing together, and for years, ever since we started talking about it, the Raw, it's always been the main complaint. John Cena. Year after year after goddamn year, the same guy stays on top. And I continue to watch the show to hopefully, because I had to stop at one point. Now I'm back here. I'm doing this again. And guess what? The same problem. It's still there. It's still John Cena. He's been on top since 2004. If this guy, if it was 1 or 2 years of dominance, I could deal with it. Hell, 1 or 2 years, maybe give him a third year. I would hate it, but I could somewhat deal with it. But 10 years of this guy being on top, how do you want me to watch the show and expect something new? And everybody talks about, I get people telling me, oh, Shadi, man, it's changing, they got Roman Reigns now, they got all these young guys, the business is changing. It's not changing at all. It's the same goddamn thing. You tune into Raw and the same thing happened. I hate, every time we think they're moving in a different direction, this time we had Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns, we think, oh, they're going a different, no, they're not. It's the same goddamn thing over and over and over again. I'm sick of seeing John Cena on top. I'm sick of him being the reason for them not pushing other guys. You got your Damian Sanders, your Dolph Ziggler's, your Titus O'Neil's. You got guys that could easily be champion. But what? You keep the same guy on top. You keep the same guy on top. The ratings have gone down. The stocks have gone down. So what do? You put the belt back on the same guy again. In the past 10 years, there's been a decline in the financially and ratings-wise. So what do? Again, if it's not, what's the definition of craziness? Doing the same thing over and over again. And that's what they do. The ratings don't increase with this guy on top. Cena's, and they swear he's like a household name. I guarantee you, if I walk down the street and I ask my neighbor, hey, you hear about that John Cena guy? I guarantee you he's not going to know who he is. He's not as popular as the WWE makes him out to be. He's not. He's just not. He's not this household name they think he is. So if that's the case, why not build another guy up? Why not use the rest of your talent? No, they always go back. Vince McMahon has this tendency to go back into his well and reach in for these old stars, and instead of creating new stars, he always goes back to well and reaches in. He reaches a comfort zone, and he feels he doesn't take chances anymore. Sure, this network, he took a chance, but again, with as far as how the show goes, he's playing it safe. He's going right back to Cena. Their stocks, and I'm going to mention the stocks, and this is why I'm going to mention them, because it directly correlates to the show. It goes from $30 to $10. All right? The ratings have gone down. Again, you go back to John Cena, and he has been the main prompt to me. I can't enjoy the show. Some people tell me, well, Shadi, just, I don't watch for Cena. I watch for everything else. Okay, that's fine. But the thing is, he's the main part of the show. He's the main event. The focus of the show is on him. So I can't enjoy the rest of the show. I can't. This whole pay-per-view, pretty average. It had a good match. And then I can't even talk about this pay-per-view anymore because the first thing that comes up is, well, John Cena won again. I can't, it's hard for me to put up with it anymore. I can't. This is why, you got guys like the Mad Genius. You got guys like Billy. Those are just two examples. This is why guys like Grits can't put up with this show. This is why they hate it, because of this guy. This is the main guy. This is the main problem they've had since day one. They have a whole lot of problems, but this guy is number one. He's the reason I don't enjoy the show anymore.
Great point, Shadi.
I can't do it, man. I can't even talk about the show, and I can't talk about the pay-per-view, man. It's very difficult for me because the first thing that comes to mind is John Cena. You got so many options. You got all these young guys here. Let's go back to Cena. Might as well, right?
Oh, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Go back to something that didn't work before as the company fell apart. Grits, Michael Cole, the dildo burglar.
The cock smuggler.
Yeah, the cock smuggler, the guy who at the end of the pay-per-view, he just told you John Cena's greater than Hogan, greater than Flair, greater than Brett, greater than Angle, greater than Austin, greater than Savage. There you go. I set the table for you.
And you know what, Bruce? Seeing Cena and the way he reacts so disingenuously to winning the titles, to me, that is so disheartening. to much more obscure names than the ones you mentioned. Someone like a Buddy Landell, someone like a Jimmy Valiant, someone like a Carlos Colon, an Antonio Inaki, a Jushin Thunder Liger. So many guys out there that a lot of young fans and a lot of WWE fans have no knowledge about, that the WWE won't even put that knowledge out there. You got to dig deep to go find it. There's someone like a Bruiser Brody, the Von Erich family, everything that they stood, what professional wrestling is really about. Those names that I just mentioned, when he does the AA and he goes over on somebody with the AA, he's basically burying. So when he does that to someone like Kane, Bruce, he's basically burying the Rock Bottom, the Stone Cold Stunner, the Tombstone Pile Driver. You're talking about someone like Kane, who has been in some of the most brutal matches with some of the toughest sons of bitches this company has ever produced. And he's laid out flat, down for the count, from a fucking standing fireman's carry, Bruce. You just shitted on an abundance of legacies right there. You mentioned Randy Orton. Has no. I've said this all the time. Call him robotic, call him bland, call him vanilla. From the way Randy Orton makes his ring entrance to the way he slides in and out on the mat to the way he maneuvers around, the motherfucker knows how to wrestle, y'all.
Yep.
Don't get it fucking twisted. Randy Orton knows how to fucking wrestle. Much more. I guarantee you, if they let him loose, the motherfucker could do a lot more shit than what he does, man. The motherfucker knows how to wrestle. When someone like Cena goes over on him and lays him out for the count with a standing fireman's carry, you're shitting on an abundance of motherfuckers' legacies. From the Batista bomb to the pedigree to all the other motherfuckers who went out there and helped Randy get over. That's what Cena's runs mean. Cock Smuggler sitting there calling him the greatest WWE champion of all time, did he say that the wrestling world has ever seen?
The greatest. All I remember is I heard him say greatest champion.
Oh my fucking God, man! This motherfucker, who does not know how to bump, who does not know how to take a move, who does not know how to sell a move, who does not know how to give a move, the most awkward, clumsy motherfucker that they've ever made the face of this company. Ever, Bruce. Ever. Kevin Nash's minuscule run was more entertaining than 11 years of this bullshit. And he had the worst run ever as a champion. Ever. They damn near dive bombed and went bankrupt with that motherfucker holding the belt. You know what I mean? But it was still more entertaining than this motherfucker shit. And I mean that sincerely, because of the motherfuckers that was around Kevin Nash and that company at the time. You know what I mean? You got this his disingenuousness, his phoniness, more than anything else, that's what aggravates me. When he goes over with that motherfucking standing fireman's carry, you're burying Hogan's leg drop. You're burying Macho Man's flying elbow. All right? To me, that's what you're doing. And no, Hogan's leg drop was far from innovative or whatever happened. But you know what it was? Motherfuckers who believed in the business. Motherfuckers who weren't ashamed to say they were professional wrestlers. Motherfuckers who weren't ashamed to go out there and represent the business. Put the business before themselves. Say whatever the fuck you want about Hogan's run. Me and Matt just had an off-air conversation. I hope he doesn't mind me bringing this up, man. You know why Hogan's run worked at the end of the day? Why the titles mattered so much back then? Why it mattered so much with motherfuckers like Stone Cold carrying it? Two great examples, Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold, two of the icons of this shit. Two of the top faces of all time in the business, especially in this company. They understood the significance of the title. They cherished it. They understood the integrity of it, the importance of it, of the meaning of why the title was a tool to be used in a certain manner. They understood how important it was. At the end of the day, You can't knock Stone Cold for wanting to be at the top. You can't knock Hulk Hogan for wanting to stay at the top. Because at the end of the day, they did not make themselves bigger than the title. They put the title over. That's why what Vince did with them worked. John Cena, fuckboy Buckethead, they used the title to put him over. He doesn't cherish it. It's handed to him without him putting any significant work in, without him working on technique, without him working on ring psychology. None of that shit is handed to him. He uses the title to put himself over in a manner which is it just goes against everything that this business stood for. The title has lost its prestige with this motherfucker holding it. And believe me, y'all, they're going for him breaking Flair's record. If he drops it somewhere along the line, he's going to get it back. He's going to drop it at least 2 more times so he can get it back and break that record. Believe me when I tell you it's going to happen, and it will be cemented in stone. You know what I mean? But someone like Hogan, he coveted the championship. That's why he didn't want to let it go. He understood the significance of it, the importance of it, especially when WWF was the creme de la creme back in the day. He understood, listen, I'm representing something bigger than me. I got to hold this down in a way that everybody eats. I'm not just the one eating. I'm the champion. That means the motherfuckers on the undercard, that means the motherfuckers on the mid-card are all expecting me to hold it down so that we all eat. And the WWF flourished. It boomed. You understand me? When Hogan got that shit, that was the boom period. Everybody was eating because of him holding that fucking belt. And the monster heels he faced. Everyone from fucking Piper. Piper was a monster heel. Piper was having problems because people believed this shit so much. From the shit he was doing to Jimmy Superfly Snooker to all his antics, all that shit. Piper was a monster heel, regardless of his size. King Kong Bundy, Mr. Wonderful, Valentine, Stud, Andre. You understand me? Like you said, Bruce, Saturday night's main event, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, the rematch. Still the biggest match of all fucking time. All right? When Hogan had that strap, everybody fucking ate because of the way he coveted this shit. When Stone Cold was on the come up, when fucking WWF was losing the motherfucking WCW, when Monday Night Raw was held in the Manhattan Center, and motherfuckers was covering up the Monday Night Raw sign with an ECW flag, all right? And the fucking company was on his ass. And Stone Cold said, "Fuck this. I'm hungry. I want to eat. Let me get this fucking strap." And what happened when he got it? Everybody fucking ate. The second biggest boom period in the company. And what did it mean for everybody from the top of the roster to the fucking bottom to the roster to the motherfuckers on the ring crew, Bruce? Everybody fucking ate, man. Everybody fucking ate. They understood what it meant to hold the championship. They understood, listen, I got to carry myself a certain way. I got to transcend this fucking business. I got to be the fucking man. I can't be a pussy. I got to take it seriously. When Hogan stared a motherfucker down, all right? He's far from the greatest actor. But when he stared a motherfucker down, there was believability to it. All right? It doesn't matter if you knew it was fake or whatever, the magic, it doesn't matter. Fucking Hogan had you believing this shit. I'm fucking intense right now. All right? To the point he holding up shit, whatever. Take it seriously. Stone Cold. That was him. Every fucking interview you've seen, that was him. I'm gonna whoop ass. I'm gonna whoop ass. Point fucking blank. And that's the bottom line. Everybody ate. They understood what it was about. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting the championship over. Fuckboy Buckethead gets the straps. No. The championship is gonna put me over. I don't have to work for this. I don't have to get better with my promos. I don't have to be authentic. I don't have to bring any level of realism. I can smirk and smile when I'm having a stare off with someone. I can smirk and giggle and be jovial when I'm having a stare down with someone who's standing there and wants to beat my fucking ass to a bloody pulp. I don't have to suspend belief for the good of the business. I don't have to do that because this championship is going to put me over. That's fuckboy Buckethead in a motherfucking box. And that's why the championship doesn't mean jack shit anymore. And you know why anyone in the company eats? You know why anyone in the company eats? Not because of fuckboy Buckethead being a champion and bringing recognition to the company, bringing outside eyes to the company, like Hogan did, like Stone Cold did. He doesn't bring anyone new, bring anyone from any other genre of entertainment into this motherfucking industry. He doesn't do that. It's because they sell merchandise. Not just John Cena's merchandise, all kinds of merchandise, from video games to motherfucking toys to all kinds of shit. That's what's helping motherfuckers keep their revenue afloat. You know what I'm saying? That's what Hogan did during his period. Hogan's period was the period of ice cream bars, Saturday morning cartoons, toys, the fighting buddies, the wrestling buddies, the LGN figures with the little. Hogan's boom period was that. It was a lot of that kind of shit. Stone Cold's period was a lot of the T-shirts and all kinds of other memorabilia and paraphernalia that came along with the Attitude Era. Fuckboy Buckethead, just his motherfucking colorful T-shirts alone. Do y'all really think him selling that shit, pushing that shit, is what's helping everybody in this company eat? Go fuck yourself, you dumb fucking mark. No, it doesn't. It fucking doesn't. It's Vince being a mastermind at promotion and marketing and all that other shit that helps everybody eat in that company. Not this motherfucker holding the strap, which is what this business was always the fuck about. The champ puts the belt over, not the other way around. So fuck this motherfucker when he walks in there smirking, being booed out the fucking arena in his home fucking town. Fuck this motherfucker when he's sitting there with the phoniest fucking smile. I remember fucking Batista winning the fucking world. He fucking cried. You dicks. You sit here and you shit on Batista. Ooh, Batista. Ooh, skinny. The motherfucker cried when he won the championship because it meant something to him. You fucking
Amen.
dicks.
Oh my gosh, amen.
Amen.
Amen and amen. Grits has spoken. Oh, I second every word he just said. Every word. And there's so many of us wrestling fans who second every word that he just said. Key word, wrestling. John Cena's not a wrestler. John Cena's a billboard. John Cena is a WWE created superstar. He didn't get himself over in the ring. He didn't get himself over on the mic. They got him over by him constantly winning. People rejected John Cena from day one. Like, who's this wannabe rapper? Oh, and there was another choice word that people used for him that started with a W, which I don't agree with. I'm a huge fan of hip-hop, and I just thought he was an abomination to hip-hop. And lo and behold, this guy's an abomination to the wrestling industry. Well, you know, he sells more merch than anyone else. I would hope so. Go check WWE's website. I want you to look at this. Because if you're in a business world, if you work in the business world, if you go to boardroom meetings, if you have a job where you do quarterly meetings and you look at revenue and you look at profit, okay, with your company, you don't even have to be in a position of that. You could be a bum on the streets and you'd be able to figure this out. Go to their website, go to their store, count the amount of John Cena merchandise that they sell, and compare it to any other wrestler. He at least doubles, triples, quadruples, or even more everybody else with the amount of merchandise they sell. And then look at how often they change the colors and basically just suck the money right out of the pockets of the people who buy into the Cena thing, or the parents who buy the Cena stuff for their 3-year-old kids who like him. That's why he sells the most merch. It's not a fair comparison with the other wrestlers. Not one bit. So when people throw that in my inbox, he sells the most merch. It's not a level playing field. You're comparing the other wrestlers to him on. And then look at the way the other wrestlers are booked compared to him. This is not rocket science here. You know, in sports, I talk sports, for those of you familiar with the channel. In sports, I got a friend on YouTube, Blood Boxing. Well, a bunch of friends, but one of my friends, Blood Boxing, him and I have always used a phrase, media-hyped athletes or media-hyped fighters. Look at Tim Tebow, for instance. Okay? They can hype these guys up and create something out of nothing. And John Cena is a WWE hyped superstar, WWE hyped legend. They've made him what he is. It's all kayfabe that made him what he is. In a lot of our minds, the guy has zero talent. You know those video games where they get the video games ratings for the wrestlers and the basketball players and, you know, like NBA 2K14 and Madden? John Cena, charisma, zero. This is my book. Wrestling ability, zero. Okay? Ability to sell, zero. Acting, zero. They turned the zero into a hero. That should be my new slogan. The zero that they turned into a hero.
And if you play the game, the guy's the highest rated guy there every year.
Oh, of course he is, because
over the legends.
John Cena rises above the hate.
You know,
he rises above the odds. And then they shove him down your throat.
You know, real quick, because you remind me of something now. I put this picture up on my Twitter. I hate to plug it, but I did, because the only place I could find it.
Oh, plug your Twitter, man. Come on now.
It's Shady here. SHADYHERE. All right? I put the picture there because if I say, for some proof, because if I say it, you're not going to believe me. Actually, maybe you will. I remember 2 years ago, I put up a comment. It was a WWE, I think it was WWE 12 or 13. It doesn't matter. And I remember I put up an anti-Cena comment. I used no derogatory terms. You know, all I said was, you know, if you don't like Cena, if you think he's the number one problem, thumbs up. I got like 30 thumbs up in a matter of hours. And guess what? This is on the official page of WWE. I think it was either their official YouTube page for WWE 2K games. They took it down, man. They officially took it down. It says it right there in the picture. Also removed. You know, just the protection of this guy. If he's so goddamn talented, then why do you have to continually protect this guy? Why do you have to edit the crowd chants at pay-per-views and stuff? You know, if he's so good, he should be over. But again, we've been complaining about this for years. It's always the same thing with this guy. Just like, you got to protect him. See, whatever, man.
He'll never sniff The Rock's jockstrap. He'll never sniff Stone Cold's jockstrap. He'll never sniff Hogan's jockstrap. Hogan wasn't exactly the most talented in-ring worker, but it worked in the 80s. It probably wouldn't work as well today. He'll never sniff Savage's, Austin's. This dude's not in that. He's not at that lunch table. John Cena's not at that lunch table. He's not. He's in detention hall for a lot of us, to give a school analogy to some of you younger cats out there. Okay? And all I've got to say is to these two guys, oh, my brothers, testify. Because you couldn't have said it any better. And this is the way that a lot of people feel. So what we're going to do here is Mad Genius wants to pop on. If he starts laughing, I'm going to have to walk away because... But this is my boy. He wants to come on, so he's going to come on for a minute, and then we're going to go through the rest of the show, tell you what we liked, didn't like. I know Shoddy may have to dip out, but of course I've got Grits here. And folks, it's so frustrating, you know? I saw people, after the show was over, they're like, oh, Blitz is going to freaking lose his mind. Well, yeah, I ranted a little bit, but in all honesty, it was so frustrating just sitting there watching him. I wanted to go to bed. I said, I don't even want to talk about this because it should be so blatantly obvious how absurd it is. I mean, how does that go? The definition of insanity is continually doing the same thing but expecting different results. So, unless the WWE's insane, they are absolutely happy with not growing the company. And I want to piggyback on what Grit said and what Shotty said. Do this test. You want to do a test at work, at the gym? You might look like a little bit of a clown doing it, but I guarantee you the results that will happen. Ask people around you if they even know who the hell John Cena is. And I'd be willing to bet 70% of them don't. Then ask those same people if they know who Stone Cold is, or The Rock, or Macho Man Randy Savage, or Hulk Hogan, or Ric Flair. But this guy's the greatest champion.
He's the face. He's the face of the company.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know, WWE, sure, they're a healthy company. They make money. They really suck the money out of their what's the word I'm looking for? The consumers. But at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is, this guy's done nothing to grow the company. Nothing. People say, oh, yes, he has. The yearly average ratings have virtually fallen off for the last 10, 12, 13 years. Shut up, so. He couldn't even keep the viewers they had. So how is that growing the company? Because he's garbage. But you know what? We're supposed to accept it and, you know what? Fall in line and be sheep. So don't speak out against it, guys, because that's bad. You know, you got to be a sheep. No, I don't think so. This guy sucks. And the fact that he's champion again sucks. And the fact that he's going to be in the main event championship matches again is going to make all the shows suck. Inherently. Even worse than some of them already do. There's some shows I've liked, but even worse than a lot of them already do. Already a failed grade with this guy in the main event. Period. All right, MG, take your victory lap, my dude, man. Dude, MG. Oh boy. Can you guys hear him? I can't hear him.
I can't hear him.
Nah, I can't hear him.
6 long months, motherfuckers. I waited for this motherfucking moment. 6 months.
Shit.
God
I'm
damn it,
muted
it's
myself.
about fucking time. Holy shit. You know, I tuned in at the end of the pay-per-view just to watch Cena take them fucking belts down, bro. As soon as he won it, I'm in my fucking living room doing yes chants like Daniel Bryan just won that motherfucker. God damn, it's about fucking time. Oh my god, this is my favorite night of the past probably 5, maybe 10 years in WWE. Easily my favorite night. John Cena, hashtag push Cena. Cena's the greatest of all time. I agree with Michael Cole. Just let this guy keep the belt till he retires. Why not? I mean, instead of taking it off of him 3 more times and having him win it back, just keep it on him for the next 4 or 5 years. I wouldn't mind that shit. Let this company burn in fucking flames.
Rock Cena Part 3.
Oh, fuck Rock Cena. Just make it Cena versus Cena in the main event. Can't get enough of this guy right now. It's the greatest. I mean, shit. And people say I have nothing but negative things to say about the show. Well, here you go, you fucking pussies. This is something very positive. I'm glad Cena won the fucking belts. I am glad. And I told all you motherfuckers this shit was going down. Oh, MG, he's too negative. He never has anything good to say. Give the product a chance. There's hope. There's Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt and Cesaro and all of these motherfuckers. How dumb do you fuckers look now? Cena won the fucking again. Right? And I'm the bad guy. I'm the villain. Because I sit up here and I call it how I fucking saw it. And oh yeah, Cena's this and Cena's that, and they give me all of these fucking excuses one after the other. And what happened? I was fucking right. Cause I told y'all motherfuckers he was winning again. I told y'all. Let this shit go down in flames. And then all these motherfuckers, I'm done watching WWE. This is the final straw for you? Reign number 15? It wasn't him beating The Rock. It wasn't him beating Brock Lesnar. It wasn't him beating all the motherfuckers he done beat over the past 10 years. It's him winning his 15th title. This is the last straw for you motherfuckers? Really? Really? And then y'all got the nerve to sit up here and say, I'm too negative and y'all don't want me on the fucking reviews no more and all of this shit when I sat up here for a year plus reviewing some shit I didn't like to watch. A year plus. All because I say I don't like CM Punk and Roman Reigns, all of a sudden, the year that I was up here kicking knowledge to y'all motherfuckers and bringing entertainment to y'all motherfuckers goes out the window. When I called it exactly how I saw it, when I told y'all exactly what the fuck was going to happen. But I'm the bad guy here, right? Because I don't want to support this bullshit ass company and motherfucking John Cena. But lo and behold, what are we talking about again? Who was the fucking main event? Who's the fucking champion again? John fucking Cena. But I'm the bad guy because I don't have anything positive to say about WWE because I don't like their booking. Right? Oh, yeah, the booking is great because you see fresh faces all the time, and you see guys getting over, and you see the proper guys in the main event scene. But I'm the bad guy. But you don't want me on the reviews because I don't bring anything to them. You know, my wrestling knowledge apparently disappeared because I don't like Roman Reigns. You know, all I did was try to sit up here and kick knowledge to y'all and give you other options outside of WWE if you're not happy with them. But you know what the response that I got was? Oh, he's too negative. He shouldn't be on here anymore. But now all of a sudden Cena wins the belt again, and all of a sudden you don't want to watch the product anymore? I've been telling you this shit. I've been trying to give you motherfuckers different options. And he thinks he's better than everyone because he watches Indian and Japanese wrestling, and he thinks he knows it all because he watches that stuff. No, you dumbasses. I'm trying to give you fuckers options. I'm trying to give you background and backstory on some of these motherfuckers you see in the WWE, this shitty-ass company that you love so much. I'm trying to give you backstory on some of these motherfuckers and where they came from and how talented they actually are and how buried they are in WWE. Oh, yeah, he's the only person. No, I'm not the only person who watches this shit. I'm the representative for those motherfuckers in the comment section watching this shit that do watch indie wrestling. That's the spot I held down on this fucking panel. And y'all take this shit for granted. All of this shit y'all take for granted. The fact that Bruce gets 5, 6, 7, 10 motherfuckers who come on here and talk wrestling with 10 different perspectives. And because you don't like one motherfucker's perspective, all of a sudden it's a terrible fucking show. Or all of a sudden one person's on it and all of a sudden you hit the thumbs down and all of this bullshit and all this complaining and shit. You should appreciate the fact that it is 10 different people up here with 10 different opinions. Giving it to you from all different fucking angles. It's something for everybody up on this panel. Somebody up here like something different when it comes to wrestling. Nobody up here likes the exact same shit. And y'all take that shit for granted. But then Cena wins the titles and y'all want to flip shit. Cena wins the titles and all of a sudden it's a problem. Like the last 10 years haven't been a problem.
No, man,
like
genius.
No, this is ridiculous. Like you still haven't been buying the shitty ass pay-per-views knowing Cena was in the main event. Like you still haven't been watching Raw. All these people say, oh, I hate the WWE's product and I hate this about them and I hate that about them. But when I'm going through my fucking timeline all fucking week, all I see is Raw, SmackDown, main event, NXT, Total Divas, Saturday Morning Slam, Rock and Wrestle. There's all types of WWE shit. But you don't like the product, but you still watch every fucking minute of TV they put out. But I'm the bad guy. Because I come on here and I'm happy Cena won the title so this company could fucking burn in flames and go to hell. Fuck all you marks. Fuck all you WWE apologists. All y'all motherfuckers can suck my dick. I told y'all this shit was going to happen. I told y'all. And y'all expect me to sit up on here and say some positive shit about the product. Say some positive shit about what? The same fucking shit for 10 years. Anybody that you like that could have got a push, buried. Sandow, buried. Ziggler, buried. Brock Lesnar was buried in his first fucking match back. But y'all want me to say some positive shit.
No, but look at all the young talent, man. They have Bray Wyatt, they have Roman Reigns, they have Seth Rollins. What are you talking about, man?
But y'all want me to say some positive shit about a company that prides themselves on being an entertainment company and not a sport. A sport. Why the fuck you people think I watch the indies? Because it's treated like a sport. Because it's treated like a sport. I'm not trying to sit here and throw this shit in your face. I'm trying to tell you, if you want a product that has a sport feeling to it, I'll come ask me. I'll give you another option. There's wrestling out there for everybody. Different. I don't like every indie promotion. I don't like every indie wrestler. I have the ones that I stick to. But there's other stuff out there that I don't watch and that I don't like, but it might fit your liking. But because I talk about this shit, I'm the bad guy. Because I sit up here and say, there's something out there that has better wrestling, I'm the bad guy. Because there's something out there that has better entertainment value, I'm a bad guy. Because there's something out there that's worth your time, your money, I'm the bad guy. Right? But then all y'all get to do is sit here and do your little internet thugging and act so fucking unappreciative over this shit. We come on here to entertain you people. We come on here to give you analysis and different perspectives on the wrestling business. Some you might agree with, some you might disagree with. That's fine. We never expect anybody to agree with us 100%. That's unrealistic. But the fact that there are multiple opinions up on this panel should tell you something. Bruce, Shoddy, me, Grits, we all have different tastes in wrestlers. We all have different favorite wrestlers. We all have different favorite promotions and favorite matches of all time. We all have different things that we want to see out of a wrestling company. But if one person is up on here who don't say some shit you don't like, all of a sudden you hate them. Grits was going through the same shit a couple of months ago. All of a sudden everybody back on his nuts again. Oh, but just give it time. Give it time. The minute Grits say something about somebody that you don't like, all of a sudden Grits is the bad guy again. Right? But that's all fine, well, and dandy. That's all fine, well, and dandy. Because you know what? I won't be doing these anymore. I'm only on here to talk about this Cena shit and rub it in y'all motherfuckers' faces. I don't want to do. I don't want to talk about WWE anymore. I don't give a fuck if y'all ever like me again. To be quite honest, the ones who ride with me will continue to ride with me, and that's who I fucks with, and that's the people that I love, and those are the people that I interact with on Twitter and in the YouTube comment sections. Those are the people that I ride with.
And the website.
And the website.
Yeah.
And many of people tell me that they disagree with what I have to say, but they come about it respectfully. And that's fine. I don't care if you disagree with me. If you disagree, then you disagree. I don't agree with everything Bruce says. You guys hear some of the shit we talk about on the air, but if we had a real conversation off the air about some shit, we probably could sit here and argue about some shit all day long.
And we do.
And we do. Even the Roman Reigns thing isn't just the on-air thing. This goes off the air. This is an off-the-air thing. It's not just some shit like that. But because I sit here and I give my opinion on CM Punk, a guy who I have watched for longer than most of you motherfuckers have known about. A guy who I have been watching since 03. Back to the IWA Mid-South days. Back to the early ROH days, early TNA days. Back to the early New Japan Pro Wrestling USA days, which Grish tweeted me a match of. I don't know shit about wrestling because I don't like this motherfucker CM Punk. When you've only known about him since he's been in WWE. When I've seen his whole fucking career pretty much. Oh, and because I don't like Roman Reigns because all the girls get their panties up in a bunch over him, and the guys apparently get their panties up in a bunch too. A lot of y'all motherfuckers out here, when y'all see Roman Reigns, y'all balls shrivel up and tuck back inside your stomach, and your dick tuck in, and you have pussies, and you act like Roman Reigns is the next fucking Brock Lesnar. He ain't Brock Lesnar. He ain't. He ain't even the next Rock. But y'all got his dicks all in your mouths. Same with CM Punk. Dicks all in your mouths. I see people tweeting about CM Punk every day. I see people tweeting to CM Punk every fucking day. Let the man nuts go. He's a wrestler. He ain't somebody you know personally. Y'all take this shit way too personal. And y'all act like y'all know these people. And y'all act like these people give a damn about you. Yeah, these people probably care about their fans, but one fan out of a couple million, they don't give a fuck. They see you on the street, they probably wouldn't give you $10. They make you pay $10 just to get a fucking autograph out of them. Fuck $10, it'd probably be $60. Because that's just the way it is. They trying to get their money. And I ain't hating on them for that shit, but y'all act like these people give a fuck about you in your personal life. When they out there in the ring, they don't give a fuck what type of problems you going through, if you could pay your fucking rent, if you can pay your fucking car note, if they can pay your fucking insurance. But y'all treat these motherfuckers like they putting you up in a house in a mansion and shit and feeding you every fucking day. Y'all need to let go of some of these wrestlers' nuts. Real talk. And I've been nice about this whole shit, and yeah, I'm not doing the reviews anymore, and best believe it's not because of y'all hating ass motherfuckers. Best believe it ain't because of y'all, because if I wanted to, I'd be back on here tomorrow. So best believe it ain't because of y'all. But I'm just letting the facts be known. A lot of y'all is some fucking WWE TNA marks. Y'all defend this shit with every whim in your breath. And if you want to call me an indie mark, so well be it. But Bruce can tell you I was not happy with the main event of the ROH pay-per-view.
No, we did.
Bruce can tell you. So for y'all to say, y'all, I just big up everything that's indie, no, I don't. I wasn't happy with the last recent PWG pay-per-view, which I will be doing a review on, and you will find you will hear me say I wasn't happy with it. So
we did that review together on the site, the ROH.
Yes, so it's not just me sitting up here bigging up everything that's the indies. That's just me giving it to you from my perspective and what I like to see. I like fucking wrestling. Fuck this sports entertainment bullshit. Fuck these motherfuckers making fire come up from under the ring. Undertaker shooting fucking lightning bolts and shit. John Cena with his fucking Superman powers. Fuck all this shit. It's wrestling. It's supposed to be a sport, not a fucking superhero comic book. You got motherfuckers coming out, lightning coming down, motherfucking fire coming up. How in the hell? It's supernatural bullshit.
And I like comic books, for the record.
Ain't nothing wrong with comic books, but would you consider comic books a sport?
No, not in the
Should it be on ESPN?
Not in the
No.
slightest.
I mean, and this is no offense to anybody who does the major league game and the competitive game and shit, but if I ever seen that shit on a sports channel one day in my life, I'd be like, what the fuck? It's just like this World Series of poker shit. It's not a sport. You're playing fucking cards. And that's what the equivalent, that's what WWE's equivalent is. It's the World Series of fucking poker. They try to act like it's a sport when it's really not. That's all I got to say, man. Fuck all you haters, man. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Y'all know y'all my boys. I rocks with y'all to the end. I'm out of this bitch like CM Punk.
He's been waiting for a while to get that out, by the way. I told him I'd give him the platform. And for the record, for those of you who missed the Mad Genius and I tag teaming to do reviews, still doing stuff together on the site. I think we put up about 6 or 8 videos together in the last week on the site. So blitzsportsnetwork.com if you still want to hear him and I doing videos together. All right, Grits. Wow. How do you follow Mad Genius, laying his heart out there? That's how he really felt, and...
You don't follow that up. You let that rock and we move on into other aspects of it. But it is... Bruce, is just, you think back to the days of the National Wrestling Alliance, you think back to the days of the territories, it's an abomination, because back then it was all about growth, it was all about who the people wanted to see. The barometer was just so different back then for how the business was orchestrated and conducted, and it's a total abomination. It's bizarro world. What this company has become. This is the company that basically destroyed the territories, swallowed up all the talent, and to see it churn out the way it has over the years. So many who was deserving of the title and deserving of being the face, and just to see what it is now, Bruce. I mean, you guys don't understand. I was able to hate her the same way Mad Jizzle was, but I think there's a thin line between love and hate. This is something that I loved as a child, man. I will never deny that, man. I will not deny that. I was glued to my television watching these larger than life characters, man.
Well, tell them, Grits. We were mainstream wrestling fans.
Thank you, man. And I will never.
I'm gonna grab some water. Continue.
Go ahead. I will never shit on the mainstream. There's nothing wrong with being a mainstream wrestling fan. My whole thing is that you can be having a better product. You can be enjoying a better product. When in my days, there was room for growth. Even if guys were eventually going to lose to Hogan, they were booked in a certain way. They were allowed for their characters to flourish. Someone like a Ted DiBiase, someone like a Mr. Perfect. There's some more obscure guys that I can't recall at the moment. Guys on the lower card levels, guys like Rick Rude and such, who are all made men in their own promotions before they came to the WWF, or wherever territory they were working in. These guys were all made men, but everyone had room to flourish. Maybe not get that title, maybe not be the face of the company, but they were allowed to let their characters flourish. I've seen so many guys, especially over the last 3 years, and it's not about me hating the roster from top to bottom. It's not about me hating the wrestlers. Fuck sports entertainers. It's not about me hating the wrestlers in this company, man. It's me hating the way this company treats them and treats their characters, their livelihood. At the end of the day, this is what they do to make a living. So the way this company shits on their livelihood, someone like a Ziggler, there's so many guys. That's where my frustration stems from. So many guys that I like what they do. As much as I hated the thought of Daniel Bryan being the face of wrestling and him being the so-called it factor and all you motherfuckers thinking he was as over as Stone Cold and The Rock was and that blasphemous bullshit, I still like Daniel Bryan as a wrestler in the ring. There were guys like Ziggler, The Shield, so many other guys who Cesaro I'm a big fan of. Damian Sandow I'm a big, huge fan of. And like I said, he's been paying his dues since 2000. You know what I mean? And it's not that I hate these guys. It's not that I hate them within the company. I hate the way the company treats them and treats their careers. It's frustrating to see so many talented workers, man, knowing that eventually they're going to be fed to the fucking machine, knowing that no matter how much I like them, they're not going to be booked in a manner that will appease me, that will appease so many of their fans and fans in general, knowing that they're going to hit that Cena ceiling, knowing that their talent will be overlooked, knowing that their moveset is filtered and watered the fuck down, knowing that these guys can do so much shit that they're not allowed to do. Y'all don't understand how frustrating that is, man. And not just for me. I've seen it more wrestling than some motherfuckers could probably sit there and try to watch in their lifetime. I've seen the best of the best. When it comes to the golden age of wrestling, whether it be the Hulkamania era or the Attitude era, whether, you know, it's basketball, boxing, I've seen the best that so many sports, rap, I've seen the best that so many different genres of entertainment and culture has had to offer. I'm not saying that in a way where I'm saying I'm better than you. I'm saying that I want to see shit evolve in a way that you and your generation can enjoy it just as much. You deserve better, and that's what's so frustrating, seeing that this company has the tools and the elements to present better and just saying, fuck you, we don't have to give you better. You know, they know you're still going to watch. And I'm not going to harp on y'all about that. You like to watch it, watch the shit. Fuck it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Watch it. Watch it. There's nothing wrong. You want to watch it? Watch it. But don't expect change if you continue to watch it. You give Vince no reason to change up. You give Vince no reason not to put the belts back on Cena. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna. Hey, fuck it. Keep watching it if that's what you want to do. I'm not gonna shit on you for that. But I'm just saying this is the cycle that you're gonna be caught up in. You know, there were so many periods when Vince didn't have the viewership and the fans backing him up, where he was forced to change. He was forced to evolve, and this shit has devolved, man. It has devolved, and I hope it dissolves to the point where he has to change shit up. Because so many of y'all deserve better. So many of y'all are wrestling fans. So many of y'all understand that there's something missing, that there's an intangible that you know you're not receiving, and that's where the hope comes into play. That's where the hope that you grasp and hold on to and cling to comes into play, because you understand there's a big void there. Maybe you haven't been watching long enough. Maybe you don't understand what the business is all about enough. You haven't done the research or whatever have you for you to totally understand what's lacking. But you know something is there, and you're hoping that whatever the fuck it is comes along one day and just smacks this fucking business upside its head and brings change. And I hope it does too. Especially for the younger viewers and the younger fans of this shit, because you fucking deserve it, man. So no, I'm not a hater of the fans of this shit. No, I'm not a hater of the workers in this company. I'm just a hater of the way WWE conducts its business. That's all. That's all, man.
And I think a lot of us are right there with you. You know, it's crazy. Here we are again. It feels, it feels like as a viewer, you're just stuck in the mud. You know, you want to see things progress, as Grit said, but you're just stuck in the mud. All right. We spent about over an hour now just basically venting here. So, what do you guys say we talk about the rest of the show? Already covering the main event, let me go back to the beginning of the show. Yes, I watched the pre-show. You got a Roman Reigns promo in the pre-show. He talked about his strategy was to attack, to climb the ladder and take the belt. He said something about, this way that everybody knows he's the big dog that runs the yard, and he said, believe that. And again, for me, I just kind of tell you how I feel, obviously, about all these guys. And for Roman Reigns, it felt like another, you guys tell me in the comment section how you feel. But I think the biggest problem with his promos is it feels like they come off as unnatural. It doesn't feel like someone's talking to you, just being themselves. It feels like I'm watching a guy trying to cut a pro wrestling promo, and it just doesn't come off as natural in most of his promos, and this one didn't either. And, obviously they pegged this guy as one of their future top guys. We'll see if he hits the Cena ceiling like everyone else and gets elevated and then dropped down to the mid-card. But still waiting to see the guy get better at promos, and I continue to say that I think he's best suited to channel Kevin Nash. Not the biggest Kevin Nash fan, but one thing that Kevin Nash had was swagger on that mic. Kevin Nash didn't have to come out there and yell, to get his thoughts across. Kevin Nash didn't really have to act hard, even though there were times that he did. He just had this swagger on the mic. And
Holy shit, Bruce, two things. Not to cut you off very briefly. I was just thinking that same earlier when Matt Jizza had said something about Roman Reigns or I can't remember who, but Kevin Nash came to mind for some reason. When he was like, he's not the next Rock or he's not the next such and such, I was like, he's the next Kevin Nash. That just popped into my head. And I don't even recall you saying that. And something else very briefly, I think someone said it in the comments on one of your last Raw reviews, and it caught my attention. He's not this tough guy, nothing like that. Like Mad Genius just said earlier, he's got all the ladies odling over him. Let him just play that smooth fucking ladies, man. Let him just be more natural. That's who he is anyway. He's trying to be smooth. He got his little tough shit to him in a certain regard. But why not let him just be fucking smooth and whatever, man? Let him be himself. If you're going to let somebody fall on their face, let them fall on their face being themselves.
Totally agree. It doesn't feel natural, And again, let us know what you guys think in the comments section about some of this stuff. All right, next we get the announcement that Wade Barrett's basically been scratched from the Money in the Bank contract match, something I talked about during the SmackDown review on the site. I think another video as well, where I was talking about the news with the WWE. So we get the Daniel Bryan promo. They really built this thing up. This was going to be the reason to watch the pre-show. I found it kind of odd. I wonder if they're going to go this direction going forward, because usually they give us a match on the pre-show. You know, granted, the matches usually have 2 to 3 commercials during them, but they give us a match. And this time it was Daniel Bryan's going to address the WWE Universe. And he did that. He said that there's a possibility he could need a second procedure. Not sure if that's kayfabe or not. I'm assuming it's not. He talked about wishing he could be wrestling in the main event. He predicted that he would come back and win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. All of that remains to be seen. He was asked who he thinks the biggest threat was for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, you know that he's told what to say. So the first guy that he names is John Cena. And sure enough, he got booed for saying that. And Daniel Bryan stood there smiling like, man, they hate Cena right here in his home. Well, it's not really his hometown, but close to his hometown. But he's the face, you know. He's the greatest, according to Michael Cole. He said Randy Orton was a threat to win the title and got booed for that. And he said, thirdly, Roman Reigns, and the crowd did pop for Roman Reigns. I still think there's 20% of the audience that wants to see Roman Reigns more polished on the mic, you know, and as an overall character before he were to get that belt. So there's definitely a contingency of people out there rejecting Roman Reigns, and completely understand why. I also understand why people like it. But the fact of the matter is he's still got to polish up. To be compared to some of the, you know, the real great top guys. But of course, with John Cena as an example, that's not going to stop the WWE. Then Daniel Bryan talked about Stephanie stripping him of the title, how she didn't notify him, didn't even take time to notify him, and how they needed to strip him because they couldn't beat him. And he also talked about Stephanie being smug when she stripped him of the title and said someday someone's going to wipe that look off her face. And then Bo Dallas came out, you know. And as many of you know, I find Bo Dallas to be pretty funny. He was like, Daniel, hey, buddy, I've been listening backstage. He said, I understand you can't compete tonight. Gosh, that's got to be such a pain in the neck. You know, the crowd laughed. He said, life isn't about the destination, it's about the journey. He said, you can't climb that ladder tonight, but you can climb the ladder of life and make your way back to the top. He said, all you have to do is believe. So Daniel Bryan responds to him and said that he appreciates the concern, but you're acting like a boner. Huh? I don't know. Cheap humor. I use cheap humor sometimes too, so I get it. But, you know, the crowd started chanting boner. And then he said, hey, Bo, leave. Okay, play on words, and this all ended with some yes chants. Grits, when Daniel Bryan comes back off this injury, would you want to see him? Because my answer is yes. You know, why not? You know, I'll take him over Cena, you know, which is clearly lowering standards, and I agree. You know, guilty as charged. I want to see the company get a lot better, but right now, anybody but Cena is better than what we got tonight. Grits, Daniel Bryan, when he comes back, are you open to him being champion again?
If they do a bit of revamping, yeah, maybe not a total repackaging of him. I understand that would be too much. A little bit of a revamp of him. You know what I'm saying? He comes
cutting out the corniness.
Cut out the corniness, and he's angry now. Now he's angry, and it's not the little nerd anger, nerd rages. Y'all motherfuckers stripped me of my championship. That's the only reason why I'm not WWE World Heavyweight Champion now. Now I'm pissed. I'm taking names. I got a bullet with those names on it. You know what I mean? A
Mhm.
bullet with each single name on it, and I'm pointing it at y'all motherfuckers. Whoever I gotta climb through to get back to where I was, I'm gonna fucking do it. Matter of fact, I should have the first match to get that title back before anybody else. Put me up against, just revamp him so that he's hungry, he's angry, and he's serious.
I like
That's
that.
it.
Well, you remember I was calling for that before.
Yes.
And I gave you a couple examples of promos where he was serious, and I was like, see, it could work. And then the next week he just comes out chanting yes, no one can deny the guy's a good in-ring worker, but I do agree that there's an edge inside of, not the wrestler edge, but there's an edginess inside of Daniel Bryan where he can put some emphasis on things he says.
They want him in the bubble. Vince wants to keep him in the bubble. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Smile for the kids, Daniel. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what it is. The soccer moms don't like aggressiveness, So let us know what you think in the comment section. Daniel Bryan, are you open to him being champion again in the future? So next we get a quick Luke Harper promo. He talked about the Usos' time being up. Tick tock, we're coming. And then you had Rowan just say run. So a really quick little pre-recorded promo there. So the pay-per-view starts. That was all on the pre-show, no matches. The pay-per-view starts. Which do you want matches on the pre-show, or would you rather just have the pre-show be what it was so we can start skipping it, and save half an hour? So the first match of the show was the Usos against Harper and Rowan, WWE Tag Team Championship. I thought it was a real nice way to start the pay-per-view. I thought them boys went in there and they put on a heck of a pay-per-view match. I enjoyed the pace to the match. It was pretty crisp throughout, which I always enjoy from my perspective. Of course, one of the things that you're going to get on WWE pay-per-view matches, which they kind of do it to death at this point, is the near falls, the false finishes. And this was more near falls than false finishes in this match, but it created some anxiety in the crowd. The crowd was really into it. And if you look at how much the crowd was into this match, the crowd was actually into this match about 5 or 6 times as much as they were into the main event. It felt like with the main event, one thing I didn't bring up when I was talking about the main event at the top of this video, one thing I didn't bring up was the fact that the crowd was pretty much dead for most of that match. It was like the crowd was sitting there waiting, okay, where's the part where Cena wins again? And then the other thing is with a match like this, with the Usos against Harper and Rowan, I think as viewers of the WWE, we've become so accustomed to these 3-4 minute crappy matches on Raw, to where you get a match like this that's good, you get the "this is awesome" chance. To me, that's more of an indication, just my opinion here, not judging the people that thought it was an awesome match. Just from my perspective, it wasn't awesome. It was really good, and maybe I'm splitting hairs with words here, but it just shows you how low the standards have been set when this is considered awesome. But the finish to the match was the Usos hitting a double superplex off the top rope, which was pretty good, to Rowan. And each Uso hit the splash separately off the top rope to put Eric Rowan away for the 3 count. So good start to the show. Grits, did you think WWE should have put the belt on Harper and Rowan here? And same question to the comment section. What do you think, Grits? Did they do the right thing keeping the belts on the Usos here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the feud is this little program they got going. It seems like it's been going on for a while since Daniel Bryan, since he turned into a Wyatt, and they had him wrestling against the Usos, and then he turned on the Wyatts and started helping the Usos. It seems like they've been in this program for a while, and if they're gonna keep running with it, it may get a little bit stale. unless they build it up and they have a stipulation match or a gimmick match or whatever you want to call it, and they build it up a little bit more, then you could probably turn the Harper and Rowan into more of a serious threat before they take the belts off of them. Because right now the tag team, who else you got? You got Stardust and Lady Dust or whatever have you going on over there. So I don't really see, I mean, Ryback, tag team division, I don't see anybody else who I would take serious as a threat for those belts as far as heels go. So if you're gonna let these boys run with the program a little bit more, it seems like a long fucking time, then don't. And not in this fashion, not at this pay-per-view. Let the Usos flourish, let them show a little bit of something. I forget what's the next pay-per-view or whatever. But if you're gonna have anything where you can have a gimmick match between them, a stipulation match, or something where you bring some toys, Michael, some toys, like my man JBL would say. If you can start bringing some of that into the mix, then you can see Roman and Harper let go of some of that aggression and then be taken, in a manner where they're more serious, much more of a serious threat, and let them take the belts off of them, as brutal as the WWE will allow them to be, brutally take the belts off of them. And then do it that way. Then let them run. They can be established as monster heels, good villains, and then let them run with the belts. But for right now, why not let the Usos have it? They got their little bit of fame from the Total Divas and all that shit. Let them keep it. Why not?
You ready for this one, dude? So I knew the next pay-per-view was Battleground because it's always hard to keep track of them, but
yeah.
It's going to be on July 20th, so I decided just to double-check the date, so I clicked on Wikipedia. Folks, you're going to get a good laugh, and if you're watching this live, hurry up and go check this out before they remove it. It says Battleground 2014 is an upcoming professional wrestling pay-per-view event produced by WWE. It will take place on July 20th, 2014 at the Tampa Bay Times Forum in Tampa, Florida. And John Cena will be struck by lightning and kick out at 2.5. Oh my gosh, someone's funny. Whoever edited the Wikipedia, you are awesome. He's gonna be struck. It's all serious, giving you the date where it's gonna be, and then it says, and John Cena will be struck by lightning and kick out at 2.5.
It's become a running gag now. It's like, shit, man.
Ain't that the truth, though? Oh my gosh, I got a good laugh out of that. All right.
Shout out to fans like that who can take a negative and turn it into a positive.
Agreed. And it's hard sometimes. I mean, we were pretty fired up to start the show, but an hour and 15 minutes of just straight venting from everybody. And there were a couple of people who were like, come on, dude, you're going to review it? Yeah, we're reviewing it. But, oh, man, that's great. Someone screen capped that for me just to save me the time. I know someone will do that for me. I'll only take a second. And tweet it to me on my Twitter. And I want to save that picture. Because I literally, Grits, I was just looking up the date to confirm the date. And I see that. That's good. So next we get a Dean Ambrose promo. He talked about wanting to rip Rollins apart. It says grabbing the briefcase is everything to him, though. He said, should he climb the ladder, or should he take the ladder and smash Seth Rollins' face in? He's like, case or face? Case or face, trying to get the crowd into it. And then he said, well, maybe both. He talked about how Rollins made a mistake when he asked his daddy, Triple H, to put him in the match. And then he said when he grabs the briefcase, Seth, Daddy's going to be mad at you. This dude is probably one of the closest things. I mean, CM Punk always got these comparisons, but honestly, I think CM Punk was just so much better at ad-libbing on the mic. He was so good at ad-libbing. Whereas Dean Ambrose, and again, tell us what you think in the comments, but Grits, does this dude remind you of Roddy Piper or what? He really reminds me of the Hot Rod.
Yeah, in a more monotone sort of way, in a more a grim, a dark, melancholy kind of way.
Yes.
You know, Piper was a little bit more boisterous and unctuous. This guy has that real somber grimness to a dark humor, a dark, gritty humor he has. And I fucks with it. I fucks with it, no doubt.
And I'm glad that, and at first, when they turned Rollins heel, people were ready to just flip shit over it not being Ambrose. And I said, oh man, but the good thing about this is that the one out of the two that stayed babyface can be a babyface with some edge to him. And I really like that about Ambrose. Okay, so next we get Naomi versus Paige, WWE Divas Championship. And let us know what you think about what I say here in the comment section. But I really hated the fact that this match ended up feeling like it was more about Cameron's reaction to the finish more than anything. I mean, Paige right now, just my perception, maybe I'm wrong here, but no, there's no right or wrong answer, just my opinion. She just feels like a huge afterthought. The Divas Championship feels like an afterthought. And it feels like the WWE is much more interested in promoting that dumbass reality show, Total Divas, rather than building their champion. And I've seen some of Paige's NXT stuff, and I mean, this girl can go. And I like the intensity she brings to the ring. And I really think the thing that's missing right now with Paige and what they're doing with her is it doesn't feel like the WWE is building a connection with the fans with her, as well as ignoring they're making the Divas Championship seem secondary to Total Divas. I mean, if you watch these WWE women's segments, I'm sick of saying Divas, if you watch these women's segments, what you'll notice is Michael Cole, the dildo smuggler, he will actually mention the show Total Divas more than he will the championship. And
Bruce is a further mutation of what I said earlier with the straps putting Cena over. Now, it's not even about the fucking female wrestler holding the women's title being put over with the title. They're using the title to put over a show based around their female talent. How fucking abominable is this? Look up the word abomination, anyone who doesn't understand what I mean by that. They're using the title to put over a reality TV show. You couldn't have hit the nail any harder or direct on the head than you just did. Paige had a fan base. She had a following. She had the flow. You know what I'm saying? To come in here and to, if anything else, put the title over. She had all the ingredients to help put that fucking title over, especially after the AJ experiment. And what do? No, they need the title to put over their reality shit. Great call, Bruce.
Yeah, and she also has the ability to bring credibility back to women's wrestling.
First and foremost.
Yes. Well, not women's wrestling as a whole. Let me rephrase that.
No, not as a whole.
Within the WWE.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, anyways, Paige went over, and then you had Cameron, who looked happy that Naomi lost, and I thought it was a waste of time. It was a waste of a Divas Championship match, and a waste of Paige at this point. Really disappointed, in what they've done with Paige so far. It sucks. Let's be honest. They put the belt on her, great, but what have they done since then? All right. So next, Damian Sandow comes out dressed as Paul Revere once again. Well, I guess maybe for lack of a better term, they give the guy lemons and he tries to make lemonade. And I'm not trying to reference Adam Estrogen, but he trolled the intelligence of Boston. He talked about Boston being in the shadow of New York. And then cue Adam Rose's music. So Adam Rose came out, or as I call him, Adam Estrogen. He talked about Boston being the place to party. Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud. And basically backdropped Damian Sandow out of the ring. And then all of a sudden we get a match. So the ultra feminine Adam Estrogen wrestled the side note. John Cena elevated Damian Sandow. No, I won't let that go. The Money in the Bank cash-in. Seriously, I had people who were like, I don't know why you're getting so mad. Just Sandow even being in the ring with Cena elevated him. Okay. If you want to call this a wrestling match, I call it just an abomination, to use Gritz's word he just used there. Honestly, I felt like a complete and utter, and this is not politically correct, I don't mean it as disrespect, but I felt like a complete and utter retard sitting there watching this. It was so stupid. They've got Damian Sandow dressed as Paul Revere. You got a guy prancing around the ring like a girl. And you got Michael Cole on the commentary talking about how he's proud to be a fisted anus. Okay, Adam Estrogen went over. It was dumb. No, he did. He did. Michael Cole was over there. Ooh. He's talking about how he's a rosebud. We all know what a rosebud is now. And did someone on in the comment section pointed out to me, I didn't notice this, so I'm going to take his word for it. Someone in the comment section pointed out that they moved the rosebud right over Adam Rose's anus.
Wow.
So one must wonder. Yes, one must wonder. The Adam Estrogen gimmick sucks. There's no excuse for a male wrestler acting like that much of a pussy. Let's be honest, okay? This is pro wrestling. You can't take a product seriously with that thing prancing around the ring. And I mean prancing in his panties. I'm not going to expand any energy on him tonight. I can already feel my voice drying out. So I got to save my voice for tomorrow for the Cena promo. So next we get RVD, Kofi Kingston, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, the WWE Money in the Bank contract ladder match. And I know there were a lot of you that were really excited for this match, and lo and behold, I get excited for these too. You guys remember when this was the guaranteed best match at WrestleMania. And it was so good that they made it its own pay-per-view, obviously. So I think a lot of us get excited for this match, this gimmick match. The big thing with these matches, and the question that I always have coming into it as an observer when it pertains to the performance of the wrestlers is, how far are they going to be willing to go? I mean, we know Shelton Benjamin and guys like Jeff Hardy were crazy. Some of the bumps they took in these ladder matches, right? So that's basically the biggest question I always have coming into these matches. And then secondary is who's going to win. Because I want to see some really good wrestling, But my favorite spots in the match was Kofi Kingston being pushed off the ladder and then springboarding off the top rope without slipping or gathering himself or anything. That looked pretty cool. He springboarded into a dive on the floor. The RVD Rolling Thunder to Seth Rollins, who was on a ladder that was propped up on the bottom ropes. That was pretty cool. The power bomb that RVD took from Jack Swagger off the ladder, pretty cool move as well. Dean Ambrose giving Seth Rollins the superplex off the ladder. And the thing I'm going to point out about that move that I thought made it look so cool is Dean Ambrose kind of over-rotated, and he took the brunt of the fall on his shoulder blades, and then he flipped over, almost a la The Rock, sort of. I thought that made that move look really cool. Seth Rollins, who took the backdrop off the ladder onto the ladder that was propped up on the top rope and on a rung of the upright ladder, he took a backdrop onto that. That was pretty neat. The zigzag on the flat ladder, the ladder that was flat on the canvas, was pretty sick. And of course, I really liked the parts where, RVD was on his game, man. My favorite in-ring wrestler of all time is RVD. Just go back and look at his matches with Jerry Lynn, and you'll see why.
Been looking better these last couple of months, man.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And the thing about this was they actually gave him a spot in the match. Sorry, folks, I've been trying to get over the sickness. But they actually gave him a spot in the match where he got to go batshit crazy and just take everyone out. And he even hit the 5-star frog splash without the opponent raising his knees, you know. So that's pretty cool for me. And then they had a part where they teased Dolph Ziggler potentially winning it, and Ziggs was doing his thing, man. Yeah, it's just a shame they haven't used him more prominently. But the real story of the match, though, was clearly Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, which, if I remember, I talked about that in the preview, and I think a lot of us kind of knew that this was what the match was going to be about, the struggle between Ambrose and Rollins. But they teased Ambrose winning with this in-match storyline, which I thought was a good in-match storyline, where he hurt his shoulder. The doctors and the officials made him go to the back. So they get to a point where it looks like Seth Rollins is going to win, and you got the crowd chanting, "We want Ambrose." So Ambrose comes running out, stops Rollins from winning, and it looks like Ambrose is going to win, right? Well, this is where I thought that they overdid it with the booking, because all of a sudden Kane comes out, and Kane ends up choke slamming and hitting what might have quite possibly have been the worst tombstone of all time on Dean Ambrose. And he helped Seth Rollins win the Money in the Bank contract. I don't have a problem with Rollins winning the contract, personally, in my opinion.
Worse than Justin Credible's tombstone. Some of the time he used to look like he was going to kill people with his fucking tombstone.
This was bad, though. I mean, it wasn't even close. And he didn't even go down with any emphasis. It just looked bad. And I mean, I don't want to see another Stone Cold Owen Hart situation. Obviously, the tombstone doesn't put you in that position where it's a sit-out spike pile driver. But it's just pretty weak. You know, and I thought that they didn't end the match with emphasis, which I was kind of disappointed in. Obviously, they didn't take the same risks that some guys have in the past, and you know that has a lot to do with their insurance, and they really try to protect the wrestlers nowadays because some of the injuries guys suffered in the past, and I get that. But at the same time, I'm going to throw this out to you guys, and I'm pretty sure I brought this up in my preview or in another video recently on the site. It might have been my SmackDown review on the site. I can't remember. But I was talking about how I thought that Dean Ambrose needed the contract from a character standpoint more than Rollins. Because why does Rollins need the Money in the Bank contract when he's Triple H's guy? Can't Triple H just give him a championship match and stack the odds in his favor, you know? Whereas
holding that briefcase, it enhances Ambrose's character. It enhances what he's about.
Yes.
That's sadistic. You don't know when he's coming. You don't know where he's coming from. Spontaneous, impulsive. It plays right along into his character.
And you'd be sitting there wondering, when's this erratic Dean Ambrose character going to cash in, exactly like you said? And I would have loved to have seen that. So I guess that would be something I, would disagree with to a certain degree as a viewer. I would have rather have seen Ambrose with the contract because I don't think Seth Rollins' character really needs it. But, Seth Rollins is obviously a really, really good wrestler. So I can't complain too much. It's just a minor gripe I have with it. Then I thought the match didn't end with that much emphasis. So I see Grits agrees with me on going with Ambrose. We'll just go ahead and move on. But a good match. I mean, it was a really good match. I wish it would have ended with more emphasis. So it's kind of hard to have a bad Money in the Bank ladder match unless you look at this main event, which fell pretty flat. There were some good high spots in it, but the end result made it even worse. That might have been one of the worst Money in the Bank ladder matches ever, the main event. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. All right, so next we get a Randy Orton backstage interview with Byron Saxton. And he asked Randy Orton about Seth Rollins winning the Money in the Bank contract. And they continue to tell a story of tension between Orton and Rollins, which is, I don't know where they're going with that. But Orton basically said that Seth Rollins needed help to win the contract. And then he predicted, of course, paraphrasing, that he'd win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then Byron Saxton asked Randy Orton about Roman Reigns, and Orton kind of gave him this dirty look like, dude, and Byron Saxton just kind of, okay, he doesn't want to answer, which, whatevs. It was nothing big. So next we get Goldust and Stardust against Ryback and Curtis Axel. I think opinions are all over the place on this, and again, leave yours in the comment section, but to me, I like Cody Rhodes as a wrestler. I'm a fan of the Rhodes family. But again, it just continues to feel like a cheap Goldust impersonation, this whole Stardust thing. And maybe I'll like it eventually, but it just feels like a cheap knockoff of Goldust, and I'm really not feeling it. I didn't think the match was very crisp or the wrestling was that entertaining to watch. You had Goldust and Stardust go over. I mean, Cody hit his crossroads, and then didn't get the pinfall there, but did end up getting it with a roll-up. But I wasn't really feeling the match. Still not feeling this whole Stardust thing. It's not working for me. You guys let me know what you think, because I'm sure there's some people it works for. For me, it doesn't. I just think that he's kind of behind the 8 ball trying to do Goldust after we've seen the master of the Goldust character for so many years. It just pales in comparison, and it sucks, in my opinion, just being honest. He puts his hands together and it makes a star. I don't care. It's really weird. And then, like, the red contact lenses, that make no sense to me. I don't know. It's just awkward. And then after the match, you had Goldust and Stardust. They still got into it with Axel after the match, and they tried to hit this like flapjack DDT combination, and Cody had to double clutch the, locking in the DDT, and it didn't look that good. So this whole thing fell flat to me. Do you know where I'm coming from, Grits, or are you on board with this Stardust thing? I mean, part of me wants to really like it because at the very least, at least they're a uniform tag team, which there's not enough of them in WWE, where the guys actually look like a tag team. But it just feels like a cheap Goldust impersonation for me, and I'm having a hard time getting past that as a viewer. What do you think, Grits? Is he going to be able to pull this off in the long run?
From the days of the Killer Bees to the Hart Foundation, I've always been a fan of uniform tag teams. That's one thing I gotta agree with you on. But this right here, look, man, you know where their pops made his name. You know where his pops made his legacy, and it wasn't with this company. You know that it was with the competition, and that was before they were really competition. One thing about the NWA back then, they were just focused on wrestling. They were good with what they had. They wasn't worried about anything else. They knew they were going to survive. So that was before the WCW days. That's where their pops made his legacy, not in this company. So they're not going to, Vince isn't going to treat them like he would some of his homegrown boys. So like his hand-picked boys like Fuckboy Buckethead. He's not going to treat them with that dignity or respect or allow their legacy to flourish, because then that will bring more attention to their dad's legacy and seeing what he was really all about. But before I go into that, Cody Rhodes, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. From his days with Legacy, they had their little feud with DX that got a little brutal as much as it could during that time in this company. I seen something in him. It's a match I go back to. It might have been 2012 or 2013. It was on SmackDown. It was a street fight match he had with Randy Orton, and he has great chemistry with Randy Orton in the ring. for whatever reason. Maybe that's from them being in legacy or whatever have you. Those are three, you know, second generation boys, DiBiase, Orton, Rhodes. And DiBiase's son got the fuck up out of there. I guess he knew what time it was. He knew he wasn't going to get anywhere. He didn't feel like selling out and disgracing himself like Adam Estrogen or like the way Cody Rhodes is doing right now. To bring this full circle, that's what Cody Rhodes is doing right now to me. I understand your brother had to make his mark. He used this gimmick. He ran with it. And it's him. And he knows how to – it's organic with his brother. You know what I mean? With Cody, it doesn't feel organic. It almost sometimes I look at him, Bruce, and honestly, I almost see sadness in his face with this gimmick, Bruce. It almost looks like he's a depression, almost, man. It's not just the contacts or whatever have you. It almost looks like fuck. I'm just so fucking lost, man.
I know.
You know, like serious, and that's not a knock on him, but it's sad. It's almost sad that I look at him and it's like he's doing the fake smile or whatever have you with the hands together, and he's like, I just got to keep on pushing, man. I just got to keep on pushing. And it almost looks like he's depressed, man. So I can't get behind it because I know what this boy has, man. I know what this boy has to offer at that. They did the Dash and Cody Rhodes thing where he had the mask and he was, and you know, it's so many things that he doesn't need, man. Because the mustache shit, Bruce, like holy fuck, what has putting this guy through, man? You know what I'm saying? And he has talent, he has in-ring ability, and he's serviceable on the mic if nothing else. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm a fan of Cody. I'm a fan of his in-ring work. I'm a big fan of that match he had with Randy Orton. They were in the crowd. I mean, it's nothing like we used to see back in the day. But, I mean, for this era and for what it's worth, I was like, shit, these motherfuckers are doing it. And ever since then, it's just been downhill. So, I mean, and where are you going to go with this? You're going to have them going up against the Usos? That's why I said, all right, you're going to keep the belts on the Usos now. Rybacks are just fodder for this theme that they got with the Rhodes brothers. So that's why I say with Rowan and Harper, you got to build up this shit with Stardust and Goldust. Let them get their mojo going. Then Rowan and Harper, they eventually take the belts off the Usos, and then boom, those two worlds collide. You have those two teams in a program going against each other. I see that coming. Maybe my prediction is way off, but I see that coming. You know, and they're going to use the fucking Rowan and Harper to promote these guys with this fuck shit going on, man. And nothing against Goldust. You know, he's been doing that. Him and Booker T had a great tag team back in the day, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. They worked well together. Holy shit, if you ever go back and look at some of their matches, they worked well together in the ring, man. Booked us or whatever the fuck it was called. But this right here, Bruce, Cody deserves better, man. He looks so I feel bad for him. Like, I mean, I empathize for this motherfucker, man. It's just wrong, man. Yeah.
By the way, someone else must have been checking out our show because they decided to add more to the Wikipedia, and now it's down. They even plugged my Twitter on the Wikipedia page. You ready? Hold on, I'm trying to retweet everyone who took the time to screen cap that. Get this, Grits. It says, okay, let me scroll down to the one.
With Michael Cole?
Yes, he says, Battleground 2014 is an upcoming professional wrestling pay-per-view event produced by WWE. It will take place on July 20th, 2014 at Tampa Bay Times Forum in Tampa, Florida. And John Cena will be struck by lightning and kick out at 2.5 as Michael Cole showers himself with a bag of toys. And then it says it will be the second event under the Battleground chronologically, with the event having originated in 2013. Follow Bruce Blitz on Twitter. You guys are ridiculous, man. I mean, my gosh. Talk about snapping into action, man.
And that's what I say. Shout out to y'all, man. Taking
Yeah.
something negative and turning it into a positive. That when I was going on my Daniel Bryan rants and I was hating on the WWE fans and all that, I'm not talking about y'all. There's a couple of y'all watching this shit, yeah, but I'm not talking about y'all overall. Y'all are the alternative. Y'all are the underground component to the WWE fan base. There's always going to be a mainstream. There's always going to be underground. Y'all motherfuckers are raging against the machine. Y'all created a subculture within the wrestling, the WWE fan base community. Y'all have created a subculture, man. From the memes, from Urban Dictionary to all this type of shit. Keep that shit going. For real.
And you're not an internet fan. You are just a wrestling fan. Don't let people put you in that box. We don't consider ourselves part of the IWC or YWC. We were fans way before. I mean, the internet the government was using it, I believe, in the early 80s or maybe even a little before that. But it was very limited. I mean, way before the internet, AOL and broadband and all that stuff. We're just wrestling fans, man. I don't like being put in a box. But by the way, @X the Assassins X on Twitter is taking credit for plugging my Twitter on the Wikipedia. You guys, man, come on, you're gonna end up getting me in trouble. They're gonna be like, this guy sent him. No, I didn't. We just talked about it. But yes, totally agree with you on Cody, man. Yeah. I mean, they haven't really. The storyline. I mean, we did that fantasy booking on YouTube a while back, and I do a lot of fantasy booking on the website, and people really love it on there. But the fantasy booking that I always had in mind was the feud between Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes as Dustin Rhodes and Cody Rhodes, with Dusty Rhodes being involved. Like a family feud. I thought that would be great. And it looks more and more like we'll never get that, which sucks. So next up, Fandango talked with Byron Saxton about his love triangle. He said he loves triangles. And then Summer Rae and Layla showed up backstage. They got catty with each other, which I don't care about. Summer Rae talked about her legs. Layla talked about her breasts, which, by the way, I was pretty surprised they allowed her to even go in that direction, but my assessment of that backstage interaction, okay, who cares? So Lana came out, and Lana started talking. She had just started talking, and the crowd started chanting, USA, USA. I got to hear Chris's reaction to Langston, by the way. But Lana, Brother Chris, I need to talk to you about America. But, when did he become a Southern Baptist preacher? But anyways, Lana screamed at the fans to shut up with the USA chants. She said that Rusev's opponent is going to be waving the American flag, a flag that is supposed to represent a great nation, the land of the free and the home of the brave. That's a joke. She said tonight, the leader of the world, Vladimir Putin, he will be watching Rusev prove Russia's superiority. So the Bulgarian is going to prove Russia. Yeah. But anyways, Rusev said, tonight Rusev crush begin. And I don't know what the hell else he said, but he said something else, I think in Bulgarian. So yeah. Typical stuff from Lana. She's always on her game. She's one of the best heel managers that they've had in a long time. She's really good. So we get Reverend Hacksaw Langston. Okay. Ho! Chris, this dude comes out with the USA flag, trying to get USA chants going. I mean, I don't know about you, but Hacksaw was the first person I thought of. Like, right when he came through the curtain, I said, he is trying to be Hacksaw Jim Duggan. There was also this...
Bruce, for them to try that with a brother in that region of the United States, I'm just gonna leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Well, I'll say this: at least he's cutting spirited promos, you know. But there was this pre-recorded promo from Langston where he talked about how I was gonna stand up for America tonight. I don't know. Do you find it offensive? I almost find it comical that he's a Southern Baptist all of a sudden. You know,
beyond offensive.
Yeah.
Beyond offensive. Bruce, remember in WCW, man, the tag team Doom?
Oh yeah. Oh, come on. Butch Reed.
Come on, man.
Yes.
The way they were allowed to carry themselves. And
Teddy Long is
Teddy Long is their manager, man. Teddy Long been around so much longer than people realize, man. And he had the do-rag. Teddy Long had the fucking do-rag on.
Yes. Yes.
And all right, listen. If you're gonna stereotype a brother or have him cast as a stereotype, I prefer it somewhere along the lines like how Doom worked. And they still carried themselves as some tough, badass motherfuckers.
Dude, they didn't need the shoulder pads.
They didn't need.
To me, when they walked down the aisle, they looked almost as demonstrative as the Road Warriors. I say almost because I think the Road Warriors / Legion of Doom probably had the most badass entrance of all time. I mean, let's be honest here. When that music hit and Hawk and Animal came out with those shoulder pads with the spikes on them, you were like, don't want to meet them in a dark alley.
The most recognizable tag team during the whole decade of the 80s.
Maybe even of all time.
Why not? I'll give you that. Yeah. I won't argue that.
Didn't know a wrist hold from a wristwatch, but
nope.
But
you wasn't going to tell him that. You wasn't going to tell him that to his face. And back to bring this back to Big E. Look at him. Look at the way he's built. Look at the way he should be booked. Somewhere along those lines. And they got this brother coming out here acting like a fucking fool, shucking and jiving. I'm going to tone back on the language because there's a lot more colorful words I can use, but I'm not going to. They got this motherfucker shucking and jiving his ass off like a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? And it just perplexes me. You know, Bruce, what the fuck has happened? Is Triple H trolling the fuck out of us? The more we demand and the more we complain about shit, that, oh, you're a Damian Sandow guy, Grits? Watch what the fuck I'm gonna do with him. Oh, all you motherfuckers are Dolph Ziggler guys? Watch what the fuck. Oh, y'all want Daniel Bryan? Watch how I do this shit for y'all. I'm gonna give y'all exactly what the fuck y'all want, and then watch what's gonna happen. I mean, it's like, holy fuck, Cody Rhodes. So many times you were behind him and all kinds of shit. Somebody is watching your fucking videos and trolling the fuck out of you, Bruce. This shit is, Big E, he's WWE champion material, huh, Bruce Blitz? We'll show you what the fuck he is. Because it's unfucking believable what they're doing with the young promising talent in this company. Unfucking believable. Fuck, shucking and jiving ass preacher. Get the fuck out of Dodge, man. This motherfucker is run. This is the capacity you're using Big E Langston in.
Dude, he's a beast too. That's the worst part.
Totally out of fucking place. And I just can't, man. I don't want to be hateful, Grits, right now. I'll finish this segment. I can't.
I wasn't laughing at the Big E Langston thing. I was laughing at what's been sent to me because apparently now everybody's attacking the Wikipedia page. Dude, someone put the main event of Battleground. It will be John Cena versus the entire WWE roster. Still kicks out at 2. And then another guy put, apparently this is like an ever-changing thing, and they keep taking them down. Someone put the main event will be John Cena versus Vince McMahon in a fellatio or fired match. Oh my gosh.
That's how you let your voices be heard, man.
Oh
If Vince is gonna keep the earmuffs on, you let your voices be heard everywhere else, and you will be attacked by the nerds and by the marks and by the apologists. You will get attacked by them. Brush that shit off. Don't engage. Don't engage them. Keep this shit going. Fellatio or fired match. Wow.
Under C also, it says John Cena will suck Vince McMahon's dick. Oh no! Here's another one. John Cena, after he gets struck by lightning, Luke Harper will say his catchphrase, yeah, then kicks out at 2. Cena new finishing move will be called the apple juice adjustment.
Jesus.
He does a lot to suck Vince McMahon and Triple H.
Apple juice.
What? I don't even know if I get that, but it's funny.
I don't want to get that. Jesus, man.
Oh, this one says Battleground will feature John Cena kicking out at 2 and keeping the championship because WWE likes shoving him down our funking, F-U-N-K-I-N-G, throat. Dude, these people are just on fire tonight. The Michael Cole will shower himself with a bag of toys one still cracks me up, bro.
They're toys, Michael!
Toys! Let's sniff dicks, Michael.
He's the Animal Batista, Michael. One of the greatest world heavyweight champions of all time. I just love saying that line. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, they just keep rolling in, dude. There's another one that says, but what's the point of watching when all that's going to happen is John Cena burying everybody with his Superman powers as Steve Austin runs him over with the Zamboni, but he will still kick out at 2 and win, while Michael Cole masturbates under the table with a dildo. Oh my gosh, man, this is hilarious. This is, I never saw this coming. They have absolutely taken over Wikipedia. You guys are insane. All right, so let's go ahead and move on. We're almost to the end here, and then I'm going to record a VIP video, little overtime stuff for the VIP members of BlitzSportsNetwork.com. So yeah, after the pre-recorded promo from Langston, inevitably though, the build of Rusev just basically continued here. Langston got in a few moves. There were, Langston's spear on Rusev was pretty sick. The one he does through the ropes to the opponent on the apron to the floor. But ultimately, I keep saying this, it was a run-of-the-mill Rusev match. In my opinion, they are just building up Rusev to feed him to Cena because they do this time and time again. I mean, if you just want to think about recent memory, just think about like a Mark Henry. Just think about a Bray Wyatt. They get you excited, and I don't think there's too many people excited about Rusev. They're more excited about Lana. But, they build up these big heels, and you're like, oh, maybe this guy will be a top heel. And then you realize at the end of the day they're just a snack for the John Cena character because they just continually feed these guys to him. So, Rusev went over with the Accolade Camel Clutch. It's been the same thing for the past 9 years. And I just think that there's no reason to believe that Rusev is anything other than another heel that they're preparing to feed to Cena. So the WWE caters to Cena, period. We see Stephanie McMahon, Brie Bella, and Nikki Bella backstage. You get Brie and Stephanie bantering back and forth. Why are you here? Blah, blah, blah. And Brie kind of trolls Stephanie about the mud pool segment from Raw. And Stephanie ends up having Brie escorted out of the building, so whatever. Summer Rae against Layla with Fandango as the special referee. Okay, how about I just sum this one up simply? The match sucked. Okay, period. Layla went over. Who cares? So that brings us back to the main event where Fuckboy Buckethead won, and the WWE product continues to stay stale. I don't feel like talking about it again. I'll have plenty to talk about. You know, you can go to if you're just joining us, you can go to the top of the video to hear our breakdown of the main event. But and then about an hour of venting between myself, Shoddy, who had to go because he's got to get up early in the morning. Of course, Grits, who, man, I really enjoyed that rant from Grits, and Mad Genius, who came on and got some things off his chest. So overall, what do I score the pay-per-view? A 0. There were parts of it that I liked, and you may say you're being unfair because you liked the tag team match, Bruce. You liked the Money in the Bank ladder match. How can you give it a 0? I give it a 0 because of John Cena. You know, I can still like those matches and still think the pay-per-view as a whole was complete and utter trash. Because, I mean, if you watch a movie, right, you watch the movie and you get to the ending. Now, there was some good action in the movie. And you get to the ending and Nicolas Cage overcomes the odds again, because that's who I always compare Cena to. I know some of you are Nicolas Cage fans. I am not. I think most of his movies are trash. But, you know, you get to the end. It's the finish that you didn't want to see. You know, for me, I guess one of the movies out there is Ninja Turtles. What would be another superhero? Well, it'd be like Shredder winning at the end of every Ninja Turtles movie, because that's what John Cena is to me, to compare it to a current movie out there. I don't know what else to say other than, I mean, it blows my mind that this company still continues to cater to half of its audience at best with this guy. And, I mean, how the WWE can claim that they're on the cutting edge of entertainment is beyond me, when they don't build up new top guys. It's been 9 years and they haven't built up new top guys. Now, yeah, there were guys that maybe they intended to have as top guys and they walked, but maybe not. I mean, John Cena's really been their golden boy for about 9 years now. And it's really hard to get into a product this stale. So forgive me as I go back into ultra negative mode going forward, and might be a hell of a rant tomorrow night, because if there's one thing that pisses me off even more than watching Cena win another title in another main event, it's listening to him talk about it on the next night. So I'll save my energy for that, and some energy for the VIP overtime video on blitzsportsnetwork.com. So, Grits, your final words, and we'll get out of here. And we appreciate all of you who have hung out with us live tonight, and all of you watching this in the archives.
Yeah, like I said, the word for me to sum up how I feel, disheartened. You had a, at best, average to good tag team match with the "this is awesome." I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get that today in the fan base culture. But it is what it is. It's not for me to get. My time has come and gone. You had the one Money in the Bank match, which predictable is the one word that I can use to describe that. Granted, some great spots in there. Nothing like what we used to see back in the day, and that's fine. I know their talent is there to have some very creative and crazy spots. Rob Van Dam, Bruce, they're using him in a capacity where they're just using him. I understand his time he's had his time. They're not even using him so much to showcase talent. They're using him to help push along storylines. Like his match with Seth Rollins, they used that for the run-in with Ambrose, and you know he had his little feud with Del Rio or whatever have you, and that's fine. But I would like to see them showcase him a little bit. He deserves that, just a little bit, and maybe this was them giving him that nod, because he has been better these last couple of weeks or whatever have you, or months, a couple of months. He has been better, and maybe if this is his last moment where he gets to shine like this, fine, because it's in his element. But the few spots in here that were good, it doesn't nullify the predictability of the outcome. Everyone basically knew Rollins was getting that. I wanted Ambrose to get it. You wanted Ambrose to get it. At the end of the day, especially knowing that Rollins is Triple H's boy, I knew Rollins was going to get it. Him turning heel and everything like that. The stage was set. The dinner table was set. Come get your fixings. So that, blah. Everything else is basically filler until you got to Fuckboy Buckethead's shining moment. With that in mind, there's no way I cannot be on my Bret Hart shit. 4 out of 10 for this pay-per-view. I mean, I've seen so many shocking moments in pay-per-views, man. So many stellar matches, so many main events where the fucking arena was raucous. And again, I'm sorry for being nostalgic and all that. I cannot judge today's product against what I got to see. That just isn't fair. But even judging it by what it is now, I cannot go against me on my Bret Hart shit, man. 4 out of 10, man. I mean, that's all this company is. It's the same fucking shit. So you're gonna get the same fucking rating. 4 out of 10. What the fuck do y'all want? Another pay-per-view centered around Fuckboy Buckethead moment of triumph. Yet fucking again. I mean, wasn't it just the last Money in the Bank? What? No. One Money in the Bank where he won the fucking briefcase or whatever have you. I mean, for what, man, with this motherfucker, man? Why with this shit, man? Again. And you're going to tune into Raw, and it's going to be more of this fucking bullshit. Hogan's run was never this fucking long, man. I can't believe this shit. Was San Martino's run this long? I think maybe that's the only other. Was San Martino's run this long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bob Backlund had a long run. You know, there were guys who had long, but it's not a fair comparison because they were a territory.
Yeah.
It wasn't a national thing at the time.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It was a pocket. They were in a little pocket. So it's unfathomable. You know, I can't wrap my mind around it, Bruce. That's why I just say it's so far. Don't blame me for wanting to be so far removed from this product because it's so far removed from what it was when I got into it. Yes, believe it or not. How did I get into wrestling? Mainstream wrestling. I will not sit up here in front for nobody. Mainstream wrestling. Mainstream wrestling got me into other aspects of wrestling. It got me into hardcore wrestling, Japan wrestling, all that other shit. But mainstream wrestling is what attracted me to this sport in the beginning. And it's something else right now, y'all. It's just something else, man. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's well said. Man, I had a good time doing this review tonight. I feel a lot better. I hope you guys really enjoyed this review. Be back tomorrow night, talk about some Raw. I'm going to be doing some stuff on the website in the meantime, so you can come over to blitzsportsnetwork.com if you want to hear more. I want to thank Grits for being here, Shoddy and Matt Genius. You can follow Matt Genius on YouTube and Twitter, Virtuoso Sports. He's also got ProWrestlingTees.com/VirtuosoSports. Grits, you can find him on Twitter at Grits718. Give him a follow if you'd be so kind. And then Shady here. Spell it out just how you sound it out is where you can find Shoddy on Twitter. So with all that being said, please subscribe to the channel. Think if you already have, like the video below. We always appreciate that. Visit my channel for my other videos on the NFL, NBA, MMA, boxing, and pro wrestling. And we can sum it up simply like this. Same old shit, different pay-per-view. Talk to you guys tomorrow night, and I'll talk to the rest of you on blitzsportsnetwork.com a little bit later. We're out. Peace.